topic of my paper's AI's effects on artists. Imagine you are a recognized artist striving to create unique and meaningful artwork that embodies beauty. After a period of rough drafts and choosing your mediums, you dedicate hours to sketch a detailed piece. One day, you find that a potential showing of your work has been replaced with a showing of AI-generated art. This raises the question, should you use AI tools to create art more quickly and efficiently, given that they can replicate your style? God is the creator who made humans in his image, known as Imago. Genesis declares, so God created mankind in his image, in the image of God. He created them. Male and female, he created them. Sin entered the world through Adam and Eve's disobedience. Just as God created humans in his image, people had created AI in their image. God is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent, and created everything. People should not test God's ability. Exodus 24 says, you shall not make for yourselves an image in the form of anything in heaven above, on the earth beneath, or in the waters below. The fall represents the transition from a state of perfection to imperfection. Adam and Eve chose to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. After being tempted by the serpent, identified as Satan, the serpent promised them that they would become like God by eating the fruit, knowing both good and evil. Striving for perfection challenges God's creation existence. Today, many view artificial intelligence as the most smartest entity, as it appears to know nearly everything. However, like humans, it can be corrupted. This reflects the fall, as it tempts people to attain complete knowledge and test God's power. Nothing surpasses the perfection of what God creates, not even AI. The concept of artificial intelligence started with ancient Greek philosophers. In ancient times, inventors created automaton, a Greek word that means acting of one's own will. An automaton is a mechanical device that can operate independently after being started, and also refers to electromechanical devices that transform information based on preset instructions. John McCarthy in 1955 defined AI as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. It is a part of computer systems that learn, makes decisions, and performs tasks like humans. Developed by humans, generated AI stores and shares knowledge, making it easier to access information and generate artwork. It relies on human content and the human's description of what the person wants the AI to generate. Although it does not have the creative capacity to produce truly unique works. When people make artwork, it takes time because they are using their imagination, physical or digital mediums, and handwork to make something truly unique. Some artwork made by humans has a meaning or purpose for why it was made. It is a way to show emotion, actions, or symbolism within the person, place, or thing. AI cannot distinguish between right and wrong. It does not care if the information that it receives is good or bad, but relies on what other people think is good or bad, relating to specific information. AI does not understand the environment or how things function. AI encourages plagiarism by copying and compiling information from the internet without original thought. It raises concerns for artists that their work may be used without their consent. This reliance on AI can diminish human creativity and work ethic, as people may rely on AI tools instead of improving their skills. This is not the best option. Instead, doing the work for oneself helps improve one's skills, strategy, and work ethic. AI-generated art is more harmful to artists than it is helpful. It degrades an artist's unique individual work and makes it harder for them to present their artwork so it can be appreciated. AI diminishes the appreciation of an artist's work in 3 ways. First, it lacks independent thought and relies on human-created content, which raises concerns about plagiarism. Second, AI's ability to generate images quickly can decrease human creativity and work ethic. Artists fear their work could be used without consent, leading to theft and misuse. Thirdly, AI-generated art lacks emotional depth and quality. This argument encourages people to focus on developing their unique skills, and creativity instead of using AI tools. People should put their own time into the work, as they can improve their skills and creativity. Copying the work of other artists can help improve skills and techniques, but it is also important to focus on originality. While copying helps with understanding things like brushstrokes and colors, it can lead to just replicating what is in front of them without having personal expression. To grow as an artist, it is important to learn from others and develop one's style by experimenting and expressing personal ideas. Artists create meaningful work that reflects their individuality. Carla Ortiz, an illustrator and fine artist from San Francisco, has expressed concerns over AI mimicking her artwork, generating pieces in minutes, and using other artists' work without consent. She argues, within a capitalistic system like ours, legislation and oversight are raised to attempt to rein in the harms that occur to the least advantaged and marginalized. Svella Sweden, an assistant professor at LMU College of Communication and Fine Arts, supports this view, stating, if millions of artists' work are being unknowingly and or unwillingly used to train AI systems, it seems to happen wholly without the artist's consent and without benefiting them. Damon Willick adds to discussion by noting, AI is not doing either of those things. It is merely copying. It does not enhance the image that it copies, nor does it critique that image. This highlights the issue that AI produces copyrighted images rather than original art, effectively plagiarizing the work of human artists. In response to these concerns, Ben Zaho, a computer science professor at the University of Society, has collaborated with Heather to create Glaze, a program designed to prevent AI from copying artists' work. The initiative aims to protect artists from being mimicked by generative AI programs and platforms such as Stable Diffusion, Midjourney, and DALL-E. However, the debate continues about the acceptability of AI-generated art. Nearly 4,000 individuals signed an open letter urging Christie's New York to cancel its first ever auction featuring AI-generated works, citing copyright infringement and exploitation of human artists. Scheduled from February 20th to March 5th, the auction is estimated to exceed $600,000 and includes contributions from artists like Rafik Endo and Holly Hongdon. This letter has gathered 3,936 signatures critiquing AI models for using copyright content without artists' permission and pointing out that they exploit artists unlawfully to create competitive commercial products. The companies defend their practices by claiming fair use, which allows some copyright material to be utilized without permission. Why are Christie's condoning these models by helping sell these works for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars when the models are directly leading to the impoverishment of so many artists that they've stolen from? Christie's digital art specialists, Nicole Salis-Gills and Sebastian Sanchez, acknowledged the criticism but responded with a statement to the art newspaper. The artists represented in this sale all have strong existing multidisciplinary arts practices. Some recognized in leading museum collections. The works in this auction are using artificial intelligence to enhance their bodies of work. Sarp Karam-Yavuz, an artist who employs AI in his creations and has pieces and the Christie's auction, averts a differing perspective. He believes the argument that AI-generated art is theft is a misunderstanding. He says most AI-generated images result from the combination of literally millions of images, which means no single artist can claim that an image of a meadow, a heroic knight, a cat, or a flower was based on their specific creation. He explained AI-generated images mimic human inspiration in many ways. They're just more efficient at parsing through information. AI can now recognize truth and lacks human reasoning and understanding of the environment. It relies on information to determine what is true. While truth is valuable for guiding right actions, accuracy linking to how well predictions match which actual data. Trust in AI depends on its reliability, but it lacks ethos and pathos. If a system lacks understanding of how light interacts with objects or how they fit together, the resulting images may appear odd or unrealistic. Without context, the outcomes can be distorted. AI struggles with this due to its absence of human experience and emotional depth, making it difficult to fully grasp the structure of people, places, and objects. AI's predictions can be accurate based on available data, but it sometimes fails to understand real-world factors. This difference between accuracy and truth is important because it shows how AI's predictions will affect a person's performance at work. By processing large amounts of data at a fast pace, AI helps people make a better decision and improve their style. It can suggest tasks to help people focus and may provide real-time feedback, which leads people to understand the work and make it less stressful for them. AI lacks self-awareness and cannot understand situations like humans do. Humans are capable of recognizing truths because they have independent thought, which helps them understand right from wrong. They can reason using ethos and pathos. Pathos expresses emotions through speeches, literature, and art, while ethos focuses on credibility and ethics. Both play a role in moral interpretations and ethical decision-making, but their reliance on them can lead to varied conclusions. While they enhance arguments and communication, they may not provide universally accepted ethical answers. Therefore, it is important to consider additional objective frameworks for clearer ethical decision-making. AI is like a parrot that mindlessly mimics people's words. It refers to a person's character regarding how trustworthy that person is. Humans learn morals through experience. For example, we see ethos shown in the Bible, which provides examples of right and wrong behavior. Some people try to make things in God's image, testing God's existence and knowledge, which is impossible and will not be perfect. Some people use God's image to justify their actions, beliefs, knowledge, and decision-making, rather than seeking God's character in their lives. For example, people try to make AI in God's image from many flaws that AI has. AI is not perfect. Therefore, AI is more flawed than God, or even a human. Even though AI has many flaws, many people believe AI can be used as a useful tool. Tools like AI can help artists express themselves and produce images efficiently. AI can provide prompts for artists based on text they input. AI-generated art can also help people who have a condition called aphantasia. Aphantasia is when a person's brain does not create or use mental images as a part of their thinking or imagination. AI can help people with aphantasia to see an idea of what they want to draw, but make it in their own way by changing the position, color, structure, and shape of the image so that they are not plagiarizing. When AI is generating an image for a person, it does not fully understand what it is and why it is generating that image. For example, when AI is looking at a real historical artwork, and why it is generating that image. For example, it does not understand the history since AI is not dealing with the world physically like humans. Not only that, but AI does not care about having feelings to understand it. Some people believe AI creates better art than humans because human art is ugly and AI art is beautiful. It is the other way around. Humans can create something ugly, but at the same time it is beautiful. For example, a person can create something unpleasant or chaotic, but it's still beautiful. Art that is created by humans is said to be ugly because it is imperfect, but beauty can be seen through that imperfection. AI-generated art may appear beautiful, but it is ugly as it lacks imagination, emotion, and originality. AI-generated art looks not quite real and not quite fake. That means that the image is not a painting, but more like mirrors reflecting objects in many distorted ways. One example that AI struggles to generate is hands. It does not have a good eye. Another thing that AI tends to do is to add extra parts to the object or smudge some of the parts of the object. AI relies on human-created content, raising concerns about plagiarism and misuse of artists' work. While AI can imitate human skills in learning and decision-making, it lacks feelings and self-awareness, which are essential for being human. This shows the importance of developing unique skills and creativity using human expression over dependence on AI. Understanding the difference between accuracy and truthfulness is crucial. Truthfulness relates to honoring an artist's work because artists can fully understand the environment rather than predicting or guessing as AI does. Therefore, truthfulness helps artists to be more accurate when they create a piece of art made in the imago Dei. Humans have creativity that allows them to bring ideas to life. AI cannot appeal to egos and pathos. AI cannot match the beauty of what created by God. AI-generated art poses more of a threat to artists than it offers benefits. It undermines the unique expression found in an artist's work, making it increasingly difficult for them to showcase and gain recognition of their creations. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelique. My first question is, you talk about humans versus AI making beautiful art or ugly art. So what is your definition of beauty? Like, in other words, what makes human art beautiful and AI art not beautiful?
Yeah, so I did explain that really good in my paper, but beauty is the definition that is made naturally, something that is not made from other people's art. It's made naturally. For example, God's creation is made naturally. And like ugliness, I talked about, well, artists makes like things ugly because it's imperfect. Well, that's the main point. I mean, we are made sinful, but that doesn't mean we don't make things beautiful. AI tends to make things that look beautiful, but it's ugly as it tends to copy various amounts of information from the internet and images. So it just combines them. Well, we have the capability to have an imagination and thinking process in order to make something truly unique.
How prevalent is the problem of AI in the work of visual artists? Is it a huge problem? Is it just kind of there? Like, how prevalent is it? Is it really impactful right now?
Right now, AI is like a big, huge issue due to like visual artworks and digital artworks made by humans. I mean, like as I showed with my example, even museums and auctions are using AI, like paintings, like images to be shown and to think that they are original even though they're not. Other people would say it's like very little. It's like, oh, you shouldn't really worry about this. But they're just saying that because it's, in their own opinion, it's like the future of art. And that really, like, it's very disgraceful because it's not natural.
Angelique, does AI have similar effects on kinds of art like film and music and writing as well?
Yeah, they have, yes, they have similar like characteristics. I mean, they can mimic them, but to be fully honest, some of AI's process within the making are not as clean as we would make it. Because, for example, with animating, they would smudge or like make parts of the body move in a really awkward way. It's like they're trying to like, it's like a flip book, but the drawings in it is not in place fully. So, yeah, I mean, that's how I look at it through my head, the information it gains.
But as AI gets better, because what it was 5 years ago is not, it's better now. Does it get better in 5 more years to maybe not look as awkward or have, like, because we went from, you know, like when you put somebody else's face on someone else's body, that now they can create the whole thing and maybe the movements are more awkward, but at some point it will probably look more human than humans.
Yeah. So to answer your question, there are many types of AI. So like there's reactive, which it doesn't have a memory, limited memory, shares the information from past interactions. Theory of mind, which generated AI has, predicts what people think or feel, and its final self-awareness. This is the main AI that acts like it's human. So it can store so much information that it can somewhat understand the environment. And so like, it can't really progress over time. It depends on what type of AI you're using.
Angelique, you talked about this in your speech, but can you clarify again how artists use AI to enhance their work and how that's not plagiarism? How is that different?
So people use AI for like to make their artwork by using other images, yes. And I would say that's plagiarizing. But in order for the artwork to not be plagiarized, I didn't note this in my paper, but you would rather use non-copyrighted images. I mean, that's the most successful thing that you can do, and people would have to teach you to do too. But I won't fully recommend using AI images. The only thing I would recommend is to use those images and critique them and say, or if there's flaws within this image and how can I fix that? So it can be used to learn perspectives and structure within a drawing.
Other questions for Angelique?
Hey, let's say I'm creating like a jersey for a baseball team, okay? And I'm horrible at art. There's no way that I can make this logo myself. And let's say I hire you as an artist, and you create the logo, and then I don't give you any credit for that. That's like plagiarism now, right? That would be, I don't know anything about the legal side of that. That would probably not be right. But if I just typed into AI, give me a logo for XYZ sports team, and it pops up, and I use that as my logo for my baseball team and get that printed, is there any legal issues with that if I use AI compared to if I just literally stole it from you?
I see. Unfortunately, no. I mean, people can still use AI to just make something. Like, for example, I've seen, like, did research on YouTubers who even, like, for example, was on 38,000 bugs and put AI design on them, and they didn't get in trouble for that. So, if you're using AI to help another person's team or try to create something, you're not going to get like in trouble for that, which is pretty surprisingly like disgraceful. Oh, yes.
Beauty helps us understand what is good and what is true. Have you seen any research that shows AI's effects on maybe society's view of what is good and what is true? Have you seen anything about that?
Not really, but one thing I can say is that I would say that it's not really capable of knowing what's truth, good, or even like ethical about the environment anyway. I mean, that's really sad to put it like that way, because as you have all those three components, you can understand things to the point you can understand the structure of the object and everything. And so that is kind of hard to answer, but I've done just like full research on that.
I have one more question. So, if you made an image, let's say, right, or you created a piece of art, is there any way for you to be like, AI can't touch this? Like, is there some sort of copyright or some sort of thing that you can do to prevent AI from ever using your images or your ideas? Is that possible?
I mean, only if I don't put it on the internet. That's the thing.
Okay.
I mean, if I didn't share it, of course they're not gonna get like a hand like on my artwork, but if I post on Facebook or any, they would attain it. Okay. Oh, yes.
Yes, I'm wondering about our education, and AI seems to me like it would be a demotivator to learn how to do art, because art becomes so easy in a way. Do you agree with that? And then, or do you see any, and maybe Mrs. Miller would add on to this, but any use for AI in the art classroom? For
I mean,
education?
that's really hard to say. I mean, the only way you can use AI is to, like I said before, like you can look at an image that AI created, and you can look at the image and say, hey, is there anything that seems wrong about this, and how we can change the direction and everything about that image? Because again, AI can smudge and replicate things within that specific frame of artwork. So I think that's one way for it to be an educational thing, but to learn from it is not really that successful.
Angelique, thank you very much.